used to be so angry. Mad at you, mad at everybody.
Tawana, have you seen the Zim Queenz views on YouTube?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
So you sent the link to family and friends abroad, right?
I'm trying to send them the link and they're telling me they can't open it because they don't have internet.
What?
I don't even know what to do at this point. I'm getting frustrated.
Hey guys.
I've run out of ideas.
So sorry, I'm late. What's going on?
I'm trying to send the link of the Zim Queenz YouTube content, right, to family and friends abroad, and they're telling me they can't open it because they don't have internet.
Why are they struggling when we have Senditoo?
Senditoo? What is Senditoo?
Senditoo allows you to send airtime to Zimbabwe in less than 20 seconds.
What? How come I've never come across Senditoo? I'm always on social media.
I'm surprised that someone who likes free things doesn't know about Senditoo. Guys, I got this t-shirt for free just by downloading the app.
What?
I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh. We need to check this out right now.
We're gonna check this out right now.
Oh my god, you're telling the truth. How come I've never come across this? It's so easy to use.
Wow, it's actually saying there's a promotion going for 3 tickets to Zimbabwe for you Senditoo. That's amazing.
That means we can go to Zimbabwe.
A vacation for the summer, yes!
Guys, this Senditoo is so amazing. It's so easy to use and so efficient.
I agree.
I think we need to learn more about Senditoo.
Oh my gosh, guys, I have an idea.
Really?
How about I contact the co-founder of Senditoo and bring him to our platform? It'll be great for our social networking.
The co-founder?
The co-founder.
Yeah. And where do you know the co-founder from?
Guys, don't worry about that.
Is this girl okay? No, you know, I've got a better idea. You contact the co-founder, and you contact Donald Trump from America. I'll contact Theresa May.
Really?
And my people contact your people.
I'll prove it. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, you're funny. You're funny.
Okay guys, we have here today the co-founder of Senditoo, a successful businessman and entrepreneur. Chantal, how did you do it?
Girl, I'm a Zim queen. That's all I have to say.
I'm seriously impressed. Anyways, I think we should just crack straight into the video.
Yep.
Welcome back guys, we are the Zim Queenz.
Yes.
And we have a special guest for you guys today. He's the co-founder of Senditoo. He is the energy of the company. Welcome to our show, Mr. Tawana.
Wow, thank you very much for having me. To be honest, the only reason I'm here is because Chantal owes me money, so that's a whole other story.
Talk about that.
So, yeah, exactly. No, thank you very much for having me. It's just the minute you put Zim and Queenz together, it's just an offer you just can't say no to, really, isn't it?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm smooth as well, innit?
I think the first question I'm going to kick off is, who is Tawana for those people that do not know who you are?
I don't even know either, so it's a bit of a complex question, really. But Tawana, my story began in Zimbabwe. I was born on the 24th of August. We will leave the year out because immigration won't really be keen on my 16-year-old self. But anyway, the long story short, I was born in Zimbabwe, back Kwachivin, close a few miles from Masvingo. Spent my early years in, I think in Highfields and then Kadoma and then back Kumusha, Masvingo. So that's Tawana really. And then I went to school, different schools. I went to Martindale Primary School, went to Chaplin High School, and this is where the dumb in me came out really. I had zero interest in school. So, and then on the 7th of October, 2002, I came over to England, so it's been a good couple of years, and I remember precisely it was a Monday on a grey day, and I remember that day purely because that's the day that really and truly changed the trajectory of my life. So that's me in a nutshell, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're really inspiring a lot of youths as well. Do you think there's a formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur?
For us, really, like how we got to where we are today is one, it's a collection of people. It's not just myself, it's me and my business partner. And what we have done is we addressed our own particular problem. We realized that there was an underserved market because, I mean, you come into England, you're an ethnic minority, and as a business, or for most businesses, when they come into sort of demographics like this or the UK, what they tend to do is say, you know what, we've got 98% of the people that live in this country are Caucasian, so it makes better sense to then try and do business catering to these kind of people's needs. Then you've got, you know, the sort of 2% or the smaller sort of numbers like ourselves, and the best way to start a business is to identify a problem, and even the better way to start an even better business is to identify your own sort of problems. And so once you say that, and then you provide sort of a value according to that, trying to address that particular niche or that particular problem that we have. And that's been our sort of our story, really. We realized that there's a gap in the market. There's people that are not particularly put at the forefront of businesses, and we thought, you know what, let's get into this, and there you go. Here we are today. We've got a business that has been well received by the community, and Yeah, it takes an entire village to build and scale a business of this sort of magnitude. And we've been very thankful to Zimbabwe precisely because at one point 70% of our transactions were going to Zimbabwe. Bearing in mind we cover over 140 countries. So the whole Zim people don't really help each other out. The numbers are saying otherwise. Yeah.
Well, my question is, as young black people, we understand that there's a lack of acknowledgement and appreciation being brought onto successful black-owned businesses like yours. What advice would you give to a young black person that wants to start up their own business?
One of the things that I've realized about being young and black is too often you get into this funny psychological mindset whereby you feel like you need to compromise who you are in order to adapt to a particular environment. But the one thing that if anybody had told me anything earlier, the one thing I should have understood was why there's no need to water down yourself because you're outstanding as you are. I think too often emphasis has to go on that and making people realize that they've got a lot to bring to the table just by who they are and then being true to themselves. And you'd find the best kind of success is the kind of success whereby you haven't compromised your identity at all, because there's nothing as stupid or as painful in the long run as living someone else's life perfectly. It just doesn't. I mean, it'll give you sleepless nights towards the end, really. But then as far as young black people are concerned, really, I think it just has to come from with business, right? I think too often you come across people, and well, in my case, I used to always have this opinion that to be a business person or to succeed in any particular field, it has to be. It's only for the special ones amongst us. But now that I've been in business, it's no longer an intellectual concept. I can say without any reservations that it takes anybody can do it, right? Irrespective of who you are, irrespective of where you are from, because anything, when you look at my sort of particular story, everything and anything about me pretty much says that I couldn't run a business that is done as well as Senditoo has, because I'm ill qualified. I don't have what it takes. I don't have an MBA. I don't. Some people may say I may not look like the right skin color, but we have managed to pretty much dispel that those perceptions are pretty much false, because now you can see somebody that looks and talks like you doing something on a global scale. Anybody can do it, essentially. That's a long story short. And
Despite exposure.
Despite of anything, really. And once you understand that as a young man, you then don't, you just begin with the end in mind, knowing fully well that I'm going to be at a particular space and time 10 years from now, purely because psychologically you've got your mind in that, you know what, I can actually achieve that. You guys can do what I do with your eyes closed, walking backwards as well. So what you need to try and avoid is associating with people that make it seem like what they are doing in life is extra special, because it's not. It just comes down to the fact that you made a decision and you ran with it. And you'd find most of the things, you know, I read a book called The Alchemist, one of my favorite books. It says the minute you decide to pursue something, the world pretty much conspires to helping you achieve that given outcome. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
So that's essentially what it takes for the most part. Move before you're ready, and what you find is you end up getting calls from beautiful people like yourselves, and things that you would not have contemplated before you first started. So the trick is just to get started them wrong, and before you know it, we'll be reading about you in the newspapers for all the right reasons. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you. So you guys heard it yourself. Be yourself. Anyone can do it.
That's true.
That's my story. But $1 million will come my way. This my story.
Okay, so when the business went boom and it started expanding the way it did, how did it make you feel? Did it shake things up in your life like the way you were shaking that cocktail right there?
Yeah. You know, business is like it's like a little child, right?
Yeah.
It's your little baby, and when people accept it, it's always a good feeling.
Yeah.
We at Senditoo have one thing that we know for a fact, that we may have started something, but the most important person in this equation is our clients. Each and every client of ours, we try and tend to bend backwards for them purely because they are literally putting food on our table. So it's not more so about what we provide. It's essentially about keeping a base of clients as happy as possible. So that's it really. Like we forever indebted to the fact that from day one somebody came on our platform when we were slow, ugly looking, and had had enough trust to take out their wallet and spend £2 or £3 on our platform.
Because communication is such a huge part of our lives.
Amazing.
And our families, and
Amazing.
it builds relationships.
That's it.
We can go years without talking to cousins of ours, but
Yes.
if we can just talk to them instantly, it builds relationships.
And it could be the most therapeutic thing you'll ever need, especially when you live in the UK. We're very isolated, most of us have had to leave our family back home. So connecting to people that can identify to who you were as a child, there's a lot of therapeutic value, therapeutic benefit to that. So that's what Senditoo is about. It's about getting mom to then call you and say, thank you, Manangu, I got the credit. That's the magic of it all.
So you described it as your baby, your child. Obviously, has any opportunities risen up like that you never saw coming since launching Senditoo?
Talking to you young ladies there is an opportunity I never saw coming. It's been such a blessing, It's like I said, I was born and raised quite Chivi, and it would have been in my wildest imagination that I'll get to speak to very influential Zimbabweans and at times very ordinary but very impressible. I don't know if that's you see that my Chivi just came out. I just met it the English language there. But you tend to meet people on a daily basis that open you up to things that you never thought you would be exposed to. So you can only thank God for that really, and that's essentially what drives us. We've got people that have been very receptive to our product, and we can never thank them enough for it. Really, I don't know if I really answered your question. You've been polite. I know I look big and all that. Yeah, perfect.
Well, I love how you mentioned God. We're Christians ourselves. We believe that as Christians we are to serve other people. We understand that Senditoo has played a big role in helping many charitable organisations. So how can many of us at home get involved with the charitable organisations that you help through Senditoo?
No, it's an easy one. We are a new company, and we want to grow, right? And you can grow in so many different ways, and one of them being you can buy a massive billboard and stick it in the middle of London and invest X amount of money, or you can put this money directly into the people that are going to make your business tick, really. So we always say, if you are in a position if you identify a charitable cause, we can then create a particular discount code that you can then push, and for doing that we'll then pay you, say, £5 per person. So everybody wins in the long run.
So many people are mistaken in thinking that Senditoo is just aimed at the mature crowd, but a lot of young people want to get involved. How can you get more young people involved that are in the Wild West?
The thing about Senditoo, we're not asking people to buy a house or do anything very significant. What we're saying is, listen, your aunt back home in Zimbabwe, all she needs is about £3 or $3 a month to buy her WhatsApp bundles. So all you have to do is just send them $3. So that's the uniqueness of our service. It's not necessarily asking you to send a large amount of money. You're just sending a simple £2, £3, even $1 at times, and the implications of you doing that is so massive, because that's money she probably wouldn't have spent on it, but then she gets to get in touch with you and she gets to send you funny messages. Zimbos, by the time you wake up at 8 in the morning, family groups in Zimbabwe have been 2 hours ahead, and so that's it. That's how simple it is. It doesn't necessarily, even if you're a student, even if you're even on your own pocket money, you can, at once in a while, you can just say, once a month I'll send mom or uncle or whoever $3 worth of airtime. And I'll tell you something very interesting that my dad told me, that this is when I knew that it's just bigger than airtime. My grandma, my mom's dad, passed away about 20 years ago. And it must have been a random text. I got this one morning because I sent him, £5 here and there. And then my dad sent me a text saying that, you know what, it's funny, I wish I could do small things like this for my mother. And it then makes you realize it's the little things in life. You really can't put a price on it, and they make such a difference. Relations will improve because you're opening up communication channels that may not have been there. And there's nothing like receiving. It's one thing when you just think, you know what, I keep calling these guys that couldn't care less about me. But it's another thing when somebody takes the time to say, you know what, thank you for the credit, or how's Monday or Sunday, how's everyone. London is just, even if you're Nottingham, you're gonna go to London, so things like that are important. Really. So young people can definitely get involved in it purely because the asking price is close to nothing. It's money that you spend on a Coca-Cola on a good day. So I highly urge, this app is for everybody in as far as what you can do for people.
So more of you guys that are watching, please do get involved. Like you said, it helps with communication and just that appreciation. Just hearing someone saying thank you is also very nice. So do get involved.
Taquana, do you have any last words that you want to share with the viewers?
You are not going to get a second swing at life, and every day could be the last. And it's important that you just really and truly believe in your dreams and confidently go after them. Have that hunger. Stay hungry, stay foolish. If you ever see anybody, that looks and talks like you trying to achieve anything, it's in your best interest for you to support them. And this is for one simple reason. It's because what we do in life usually hinges on a very simple fact. Once you see somebody that looks and talks like you doing something, chances are in your head you're going to think it's very much achievable. That's the reason why most of us ended up getting into the healthcare profession, because they saw people walking and talking like us. But now as Zimbabweans, we have a 20+ year history in this country, and we've got much better houses than we used to. So our way of thinking has obviously shifted now. So now we need to get into ownership, and business ownership is always a good place to start, because then we're in control of our money. So when you see people, keep them accountable, these businesses have to be accountable and provide a service to their clients at a higher standard. There's no saying that, Sawira, let's just support this person. But it's important for you to then pay patronage to this business, purely because when your kids that are you raising now grow up and see you starting businesses, they're going to think, you know what, I can actually start a business as well. And I don't necessarily have to work for anybody else. And then before you know it, we are changing the world, and we no longer, they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. We're no longer complaining that we're getting discriminated upon, because we're our own bosses, and we employ our own and things of that nature. And so that's it really. I think as a community, we've got to a point whereby our money has become so powerful, and that's why it needs to circulate within our own communities. And before you know it, we're going to have these young ladies running their own sort of CNN and cable news networks, or whatever sort of television networks, because that's where we're getting to. The one thing that's very much, I remember watching a Steve Jobs sort of documentary or something on YouTube, and you were saying that everything you see today was built by people who are no smarter than you. Once you understand that, you're good to go. Because what tends to happen, most of us tend to put people on a pedestal, which is extremely wrong. We need to understand that God is for us all, and the fact that there's only one of you, and what you have, nobody else can possess. And what's truly yours, nobody can take away from you either. So I think it's important that we express ourselves and our full potential, and as a community, we build businesses that serve our needs, and above anything else, understand that everything we do is always bigger than ourselves, because there's kids looking and watching, and before you know it, you've got more of us, because we are young, gifted, and black.
Well, thank you so much for coming on our platform. We feel very honored to have you here today, and thank you viewers for watching. Make sure you like, share and subscribe to Zim Queenz. Bye.
African story.